Bitcoin hoodie guy coming back with another KASPA video. Before we get into it, could you please Mike Tyson the like and subscribe button? Look at that. Mike Tyson blindfolded, throwing a bullseye. Does it get much better than that? I don't think so. You can see KASPA, we're kind of basically even yesterday. The market's moving up one and a little over almost 1.5%. $4 billion market cap, still holding the number 23 spot on coin market cap. You can see that ICP was kind of it overtook Pepe. It's up 13% the last 24 hours. So it's trying to overtake KASPA. It was getting jealous. It was getting lonesome down there. So you can see hash rate spending more and more time over 400. You can see that, really more time over 410 petahashes. So that's nice to see. I know you can see the hash rate here. Typically, the last times that the hash rate went over the price on this chart, then the price went up. So who knows what the short-term price action is? But on this chart, the price, the hash rate is greater than the price there. So for whatever that means, that's what that looks like. You can see that we're still there at 93%, and you can still see that Doge pulled away a little bit there. So its Doge is about 1.6 million, KASPA 1.4 million. I like using the F2 pool, and actually the F2 pool has about 141 petahash. That pool has 141 petahashes of the KASPA hash rate. I know yesterday I was talking. I know that the Bitcoin miners need to buy new ASICs if they want to mine KASPA. Something like this Ice River, which it wouldn't ship out until July 20th or August 10th. You can get it if you have them host it. You can get it online this month. But the thing is that probably at the Bitcoin halving, which was almost 3 months ago, the mining revenue went down for miners. So KASPA has been on the list. You can see this pool right here. F2 pool has 10% of the Bitcoin hash rate. There's about 620 exahash in the Bitcoin hash rate, and the F2 pool has 62 exahashes. So it's about 10%. With KASPA around 400, what are they like? I guess 50% would be 200 petahashes. So you can see that they have like 40% or like 35-40% of something around there for it. I'm just doing some, not even really calculating it out, but this pool has a big part of the KASPA hash rate. And so that's just miners, they might have some of their own miners, but it's miners pointing their, to this pool. And so you can see right here showing the 411 hash rate. Okay, actually, so yeah, they got a little bit more today. The Bitcoin hash rate is 560 exahashes. So it's possible that some miners, because it's been 3 months ago that the Bitcoin miners had, decline in revenue with the lower rewards. And so some of those guys might have been looking at buying some Ice River ASICs for KASPA, and they probably could have got them by now. Because if you bought today, you could potentially have it ship on July 20th, August 10th. So 3 months ago, if someone would have the first week or something after runes was hot and heavy, someone could have been buying some of these, and maybe they're coming online now. I don't know, but I just wanted to point out that sometimes live stream you say some stuff, and but I do know that the Bitcoin miners their ASICs for mining Bitcoin or merchant mining or whatever they're doing, they have to buy new ASICs, and that does take time. But there's obviously probably some people that did that, and F2 pool, they have quite a few people pointing their ASIC power over here. They have a huge chunk of the hash rate. Anyways, the German government is out of Bitcoin. It looks like some people have sent some couple $100 worth of Bitcoin, but they're done selling. Yep. I like to think about where I think the market dominance for KASPA could be based off where I think the market cap is. I think the market cap will be kind of more the 8, 9, 10 trillion area. You can kind of guess what you think the market dominance could potentially be, 1 or 2%. Right now, we're just 2% would be a 10x for us. Casplex, nothing new there, just still working on the background. It's going to take time. So basically Casplex will let us know when they'll give us plenty of warning on when an advance notice of when KRC20s will come in. So that's just on hold. Only about like halfway through listening to this Caspa R&D. About 16 minutes in is when Jonathan Saplinski is talking about his, he wants to do, his main priorities are increasing the blocks per second and Dagnite, but he's also talking about some smart contract stuff. They have a guy from Starkware talking a lot, and they're talking about some of the different stuff on the Cairo language. The Starkware is a language for creating Stark provable programs and general computation. So today's video, like, what's more important? I know a lot of people, it seems like if you put price or anything, those videos tend to get more clicks. This stuff, some of this, what these guys are talking about, is over my head. And I wonder, some people can understand KRC20, smart contracts, 10 blocks per second, those type of things. Some of the more advanced R&D conversations seem like they're over my head, but I still like to watch some of it. And maybe if you watch stuff multiple times, it'll stick. But another thing here is exciting is Casper, the ghost of KASPA, said they're in talks with MEXC and other exchanges for future listings as the first 100% fair launch project on KRC20 to be contacted by other exchanges. We're proud to say the exchanges are reaching out to us, not the other way around. So KRC20s aren't even really out yet. And if that's true there, and I'm not saying it's not true, but it's good, and it'll be good to get some of these KRC20s on MEXC, and just drives adoption. So in the short term, I think the biggest, the KRC20s are the biggest piece of technology. Maybe next year, 10 blocks per second. I'm not sure smart contracts will happen this cycle. We'll probably looking at, so bro, please check Nexa. I know you've been talking about Nexa a lot. Kishu, let's see. Nexa is right there. It's got about 3,000 gigahashes. I know that you've talked about that before. I haven't even looked at it since then, but I'll have to take another look at that. Leroy, thanks for tuning in. It's going to follow what KASPA did. What do you think about when all the KASPA's mine, bro? How much impacted the price of KASPA? Stacks is king, though. No. So with KASPA, you look at let's see, let's take a look at their emission schedule. I know that someone said that this next bull run, but here's the mission schedule. So at least what I've saw on the mission schedule is that it's almost like dust, but it looks like the last little, I guess it looks like, I mean, on this, it makes it look like 2056. There'll be a very, very tiny just fraction of KASPA minted. The last time it's one full KASPA on the reward will be the last time it's one full KASPA will be roughly around 2031, 2032. So that 20, and then it's still under a KASPA. So if KASPA's value enough, but very, I guess basically, what's it like 13% roughly right now that left to, what are we at now? Like roughly 16, like just under 16%. So I guess if it goes to 8%, I think it's like every year, maybe it's like 8%, then 4% left. So yeah, it's very, it's a very aggressive emission schedule. But so it'll be that 2032, 2030, 33 bull run is when it'll get under. Point of 2030 is when it'll start going under. 2031 is when it'll go underneath one KASPA for the reward. And then I guess just dust of KASPA after that. So at that point, you're going to need to go to fees. Now, the KRC20 was, in large way, was kind of unsuccessful, but hey, I don't think very many people got hurt, and they learned a lot. And if they come back ready to go, and the core devs are kind of helping them, guide them, and everything is done right, it shows that right now there's basically no fees on KASPA. The miners are making absolutely nothing. In one day, 25 KASPA, at 12 cents, that's like, what, $2? So they're making nothing in fees. And you can see, and sometimes with hype, there's the massive, and people might have been paying a little bit extra KASPA to try to make the transaction go through, but 1.9 million KASPA. And when you look at the rewards for KASPA, that day, I think it was like three or $400,000. So like they're doing 1.3, 1.4 million generated for the miners, and basically $2 is, there's $2 of rewards. Then that's not much, but $300,000, that's like 20, 30% increase for the miners. So that makes it more profitable. That's the same thing. Bitcoin's up. If people don't use the Bitcoin network, then the security will go down. So I do think in the short term, KRC 20s, once they come out, whether it's this month, next month, whenever those guys come out, um, there's going to be a lot more fees for the miners, and that's going to make it even more likely that people are going to want to point to a pool or solo mine. And it'll still take a while for people to to get their to get their mining rigs. Right now, I guess if you're just going to have Ice River host it, it looks like you could get it online this month. So hosting electricity costs 8 cents per kilowatt hour. So I think you'll see that the more Bitcoin, there's still going to have the big dog for the hash rate, but more and more people. And it takes time for that to come online, but people are probably, I think there's probably Bitcoin miners that are going that direction. And so there's a lot of small guys mining, just pointing to hash, pointing their hash to different pools. That's where you look at Bitcoin. I mean, it's pools, or, Ant pool, Foundry pool, F2 pool. They have a lot of hash rate. So I think in the end, KRC 20s is going to help generate revenue for the miners. And I think that's going to be net positive, and maybe even get more people to start coming into the KASPA mining game. And then that lags behind. It takes a while for that to happen, but I think that, who knows, and maybe some people caught wind of, I don't know if Mara, if anyone at Mara was talking to anyone else. I mean, they've been mining since October, so there could be some other guys in the background that have been doing it for months and we don't even know about. So yeah, I think that the KRC 20s will be a good chance, and that's just one stepping stone. We'll stop smart contracts, and maybe they don't even happen. We do know that I think KRC 20s are going to happen sometime in the next month or two, and that will drive adoption. And then, like here, if you start getting some of these KRC 20 tokens on MEXC and other, maybe Gate.io, and that'll just drive more adoption for KASPA. Thoughts on KASPA price at the end of 2024? If things go good and the market takes off, maybe it's able to get to $1. That's a little over a 5x. Obviously not financial advice. I have no idea, but if the market gets hot and heavy, and I think too is if KRC 20s come out when the market's still kind of down, that might help KASPA to propel into the top 20, and then that in turn might get more eyeballs on KASPA. So I think somewhere like, it's got a shot to do 50 cents to $1 this year. 50 cents if things go pretty good, $1 if things really go good and the whole market's ripping and roaring. So we don't know. It feels like at some point this year, towards the end of the year, some point it's the Bitcoin and the whole market's going to start going north again. And there's that $16 billion that FTX has that's coming out in stable coins. So that's going to be 16 billion that most likely people are going to use to buy crypto. So that could be a net positive. Obviously, most of it's probably going to go into Bitcoin and Ethereum, but then people will be looking for altcoins, and there's KASPA. And if people are into proof of work stuff, it's sitting there. So got a lot of good narratives. That's all I got for today. Let me know what you think. I know a lot of people are in it for the tech and the price, but it seems like people really care about price, and everyone's trying to make money and trying to play it where they're playing long-term, short-term games, whatever your game is, trying not to fumble the bag too much. Knowing for me, I'm gonna dollar cost average out, try to keep a bag for long-term, dollar cost average out. I know I'm not smart enough to play the market perfectly, and there's a lot of tech, a lot of big brains working on things in the ecosystem. So that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.